I'm going to try to give you another couple of videos about switch hitting. We've done more in the past on smallballsuccess.com. I hope you'll log on there and check them out. I'm John Harris, and that's my website. I guess the thing that put this back into my head is that I was watching one of what I called them the cardboard games yesterday, and it was a Pirates game. Brian Reynolds was playing. He's the sophomore star for the Pirates. He's a switch hitter, and the commentators were talking about how he tries so hard to model his swing from the left side after his swing from the natural side, which would be his right side. For whatever reason, Mother Nature tells us that our natural way to hold the bat is with our better hand on top, and that's true of me too. I'm a right-handed thrower, but I actually hit better left-handed. I think that's one of the problems that switch hitters have. They try so hard from their weaker side to learn how to hit from that side, especially if it's the left side, because most of the pitching you're facing is right-handed. So you get a lot of practice hitting from that side, and you become so good at it that you kind of forget how to hit right-handed. Well, supposedly the antidote to that is just keep mirroring one side from the other. Who else did they say? Francisco Lindor, they said, also worked really hard to make his two sides mirror images of each the other. So, and this is there's a certain logic that supports that, but you could also kind of turn the logic on its ear. If you're not truly ambidextrous, then one of your hands is stronger than the other. And if one hand is stronger than the other, then the way you swing the bat with your strong hand on top is not necessarily going to be the way you want to swing it with your weaker hand on top. So why should you make your body do something that it naturally resists? Why not just let it have a different swing from either side? What would be the better swing for an approach where the strong hand is on the bottom? And what would be the better swing for one where the strong hand is on top? I've thought about that a lot, and it doesn't seem to me why that should be so hard to practice. It seems to me it would be harder to practice an approach where you have to make the strong hand bottom side identical to the strong hand top side. So I continue, as a guy who's become more comfortable swinging left-handed, I continue to work on right-handed swinging and figure out, okay, what would be my best stroke there? I think it's natural for most strong hand top side hitters to get out on the knob and to put their hands together and to just swing for the fences, cut down in this big sweeping dip which throws the weight back. I think all of these things, which are so typical of baseball hitting and have been throughout baseball history, I think you kind of need to fight them if you want to be a contact hitter. The big tall guys can get away with sweeping under the ball and popping it way up in the air because they're big tall guys, and sometimes those huge pop-ups will carry over the fence. But we shorter guys, our game is just to keep the ball low, hit a line drive, and get on base. So how can I make the top hand loosen up a little bit? How can I make the bottom hand a little bit smarter and hit low line drives? And I keep coming back to a few things, and I have learned these mostly from hitting from the left side. So yeah, there are important lessons to be gained from looking at what the other side is telling you, but I'm not necessarily going to mirror the two. I've decided I want to go ahead and spread the hands again, because actually that allows my bottom hand to do what we call levering. That keeps the barrel headed straight into the ball more than if I had the hands together. And that way the thumb up here is just going to wrap around the handle. I'm going to do the loopy, dippy kind of swing again. I'm not going to be able to drive right through the center of the ball. So let's spread them. Let's, of course, keep the barrel in the knuckles here and not wrap the thumbs. Shine the light on the ball. We talked about that the other day. Lead with the handle into the ball and just lever that handle back, which the hand spreading allows me to do, and follow through with a punch with the top hand. This is all basic stuff on our website. I think what I'm going to do that's a little different I am going to close up to the plate and stand back from the plate, not toward the catcher, but back from the plate toward the on-deck circle. We do that left-handed too, though. I'm not going to take the little skip into the pitch, though. That seems to be something that just complicates matters too much for me from the right side. I'm just going to be more conventional and be static here. I could do the Charley Lau thing that we've talked about so much. I could just spread my legs out and not even have a stride, and then go down, hands up while my back knee dips, and then come into the ball. And I like that, and I might do it with 2 strikes, but I think I'm going to do a kind of divertisement on that theme. I'm going to, there's almost, I don't know, I've experimented with this and I felt a little bit like Josh Donaldson. I felt even more like Ronald Acuna Jr. I'm going to lift the forward leg. I'm going to not so much lift the hands as take them off my shoulder. So this is the Acuna Jr. kind of look. I'm going to have the hands kind of right out from the letters here. I want to curl that forward leg because that, I've found from the left side, allows me to throw my weight forward into the pitch more effectively. And I still want to get on the front foot because I want to cut a line straight down into the pitch. That's how I hit low line drives. So I'm going to start with this as the pitcher, as he breaks his hands, and ideally I'm going to not, at no point will that elbow go up or will these hands go up and back, beyond, behind, above the rear shoulder. I'm just going to go right into the ball, and as I said before, shine the light on the pitch. I'm going to lead with the bottom hand. I'm going to just cut right through the center of the ball, slightly downward angle, and that's going to give me a low line drive. And since I'm angled toward the plate, that'll either hopefully give me an off-field hit, or that'll allow me to hit it right up the middle. And if my timing's a little off, okay, maybe I'm in front of it, but this time, instead of just completely missing that one or hitting it over there into the parking lot, I might drive it deep to left field. So it's all good, isn't it? This is what I want to try. Again, I'm cheating here a little bit because I've actually already done the demonstration, and it took me several takes, but I had some good results. Let me just wind this up by saying I noticed a couple of things off of my machine that I think are relevant even to live pitching. I noticed that when I did this, it's obviously really hard to come down from something like a steep leg lift. That's why so many coaches are saying now get the front foot down early, but if you do that, it makes you stretch the rubber band and take the hands back here. We don't want to do that. We want the weight to come forward at the same time. So it's much more effective if I do a kind of toe tap, get the front foot down, but do a little skip off of it like you're skipping a rock off a lake, and then glide into the pitch that way. And that obviously is something you could do with live pitching as well. Do a little toe tap to get your weight going forward, but the little tap will keep it from decisively, maybe disastrously coming forward too fast, too soon. And then you can glide into the pitch as you see the ball from there. What's the other thing I wanted to note? I do want to try to get my weight forward. I didn't do this in any of the demonstrations because I was on the ball pretty well, but sometimes when you are there too early, the top hand wants to slip off the bat, and it's okay if you finish one-handed with this, as Acuna Jr. does typically. There are guys, Napoleon Lajoie always finished one-handed. Hannes Wagner would finish two-handed or one-handed depending on what the pitch demanded. If he felt that he was too early and he had to stay on the ball, keep the barrel going into the ball a little bit longer, he would release the top hand. I'm not sure as far as hand release goes where Rogers Hornsby is in that trio, but Lajoie and Hornsby and Wagner all stood well back from the plate, and they went into the ball, and tried to spray it to their off field or up the middle, and they'd pull it if they got a little bit too early. That's a pretty impressive group of hitters, and hopefully Acuna Jr. will end up somewhere in that mix as well. Just keep at it if you want to switch hit. It's maybe not worth it, because obviously if you're trying to master two somewhat different swings, you're gonna have to work extra hard. But I think maybe this is the last thing I'll squeeze in here. I think the extra power you get hitting with your better hand on top is perhaps worth the extra work. Obviously most switch hitters have fewer home runs right-handed just because they don't see that much left-hand pitching, but in terms of home run per pitch seen, you probably will find that they almost all have more power from the right side if that top hand is their strong hand. So the power, I think, will make it worthwhile. If you're concerned about not being a power hitter from the left side, even though you have a high average, well, maybe switch hitting is your answer. Okay, let's go to the demonstration part 2.